The once peaceful colony of Vortex Station is now a battlefield. Orbiting a barren, distant planet, the station was designed as a safe haven for human settlers, a place of peace in the cold vacuum of space. But that peace is shattered in an instant. Sudden, deafening explosions rock the station, causing the walls to shake and the lights to flicker. A deep rumble fills the air, growing louder and louder. The sound of weapons, heavy, relentless, tears through the atmosphere, and then, the silence of space is shattered. Above the station, sleek, dark alien ships descend like vultures circling their prey, casting long shadows across the station's exterior. Their weapons, massive and far too advanced, unleash a bombardment that cracks the station's shields like glass, the bright explosions lighting up the dark sky. Sparks fly, and alarms blare, sending waves of panic through the human inhabitants. In the chaos, the defenders of Vortex Station are scrambling, trying to mount a defense, but it's clear their systems were never prepared for an attack like this. The Zorothians, cold, calculating, and ruthless, have arrived. Their technology is beyond anything the humans can comprehend, and the invasion is swift, brutal, and relentless. They are here to exterminate humanity. Amid this overwhelming destruction, Jack Mitchell, a regular technician with no combat training, races down the dimly lit hallways of the station, heart pounding in his chest. His thoughts are not on the chaos unfolding around him but on one thing: finding his daughter, Lily. Lily, his 12-year-old daughter, is all Jack has left in this world. His wife died years ago, and his only purpose now is to protect her. The station may be falling apart, but nothing matters more to him than keeping her safe. The walls tremble as another blast rocks the station. Jack moves faster, pushing past panicked colonists, his eyes darting from side to side. He finally spots her in the common area, crouching behind a vending machine, her small form shaking with fear. She clutches a stuffed toy, her wide eyes filled with terror. "Lily!" Jack shouts as he runs toward her. She looks up, relief flooding her face when she sees him. Without hesitation, he scoops her up into his arms, his voice soft but urgent. "Stay down. Don't make a sound. We need to move, now." But before they can leave, the door to the hallway bursts open with a thunderous crash, and the Zorothian soldiers march in. They are tall, armored, and terrifying, humanoid figures, their bodies covered in dark metal plating that gleams menacingly. Their pulse rifles glow ominously as they sweep the room with deadly precision. Jack's heart sinks as he realizes the danger they're in. He moves instinctively, stepping in front of Lily to shield her from the incoming soldiers. But Jack is just a technician. He's not a fighter. His hands tremble, adrenaline surging through his veins as he looks around desperately. Anything to protect her. He grabs the first thing he can find, a metal wrench. He raises it, ready to fight, even though he knows it's a hopeless cause. The soldiers are too quick. One of them raises a pulse rifle and fires. The blast is a split second away from hitting Jack when he instinctively throws himself in front of Lily, the shot narrowly missing. It's too close. Jack's heart races, but there's no time to process the terror. The soldiers are closing in. Without thinking, Jack grabs a discarded blaster from the ground and hurls it at the nearest soldier. The weapon bounces harmlessly off his armor. Jack barely has time to react as the soldiers easily overpower him. A blow from one of them sends the wrench flying from his hand. The soldiers pin him to the floor, their alien strength too much for him to fight back against. Through the haze of fear and confusion, Jack's eyes dart toward Lily. She's being dragged by one of the Zorothians toward the door. Her screams pierce the air as she struggles to break free, but there's no escaping the alien soldier's grip. Jack's chest tightens as he watches her fight, his heart breaking with every second that passes. Then, one of the soldiers activates a glowing red beam, and Jack's blood runs cold. The beam wraps around Lily, lifting her off the ground like she weighs nothing. Her screams are cut off as she is pulled toward the ceiling, into the belly of the massive alien ship hovering above them. Jack's body freezes. The beam retracts, and Lily disappears into the sky. His whole world crumbles in that moment. His daughter, the one person he vowed to protect, is taken from him, out of his reach, gone forever. The rage that floods through him is unlike anything he has ever felt. Helplessness, fury, and grief mix into a storm inside him. No! Jack shouts, pushing against the soldiers pinning him to the ground. He struggles to get up, his body trembling with emotion and exhaustion. The fight isn't over. It can't be. But then, a loud crash echoes through the hallway, and Jack hears the voices of human soldiers approaching. One of them steps forward, his face grim. The fight's over. It's done, he says, his voice full of defeat. We've lost. It's all falling apart. But Jack doesn't listen. His fists clench, and he shakes his head, his face set with grim determination. No. Not over. Not yet. His voice is low, a growl of defiance. Without another word, Jack pushes past the soldiers, ignoring their calls for him to stop. He heads toward the outskirts of the colony, toward the escape pods. His mission is clear. He must get Lily back. Jack reaches an abandoned emergency escape pod, a small, one-man vessel. The door slides open with a hiss, and Jack doesn't hesitate. He slams the button to seal the door behind him, shutting out the voices of the soldiers. He's not waiting for orders. He's not waiting for anyone. With the press of a button, the pod's engines roar to life. Jack grips the controls tightly. He doesn't know how he'll get inside the Zerothian flagship. He doesn't know what he's going to do once he gets there. But none of that matters now. His only goal is clear: get Lily back. The pod shoots out of the station's hangar, into the vast emptiness of space. The stars swirl around him as the pod races toward the massive Zerothian ship. The odds are stacked against him. He knows this mission may cost him everything. But in this moment, Jack Mitchell is no longer just a father. He's a man determined to fight until his last breath to bring his daughter home. After escaping the ruined Vortex station, Jack Mitchell finds himself alone in the cold, empty vastness of space. His stolen escape pod is his only means of survival as it drifts toward the heart of Zerothian space, carrying with it the one thing that still drives Jack, his daughter, Lily. Jack has no illusions about what he's facing. He's not a soldier, he's just a father. But he's willing to do whatever it takes to get her back. As the weeks stretch on, the pod's barely intact systems are pushed to their limits, and Jack struggles to keep the ship in one piece, knowing each moment in space could be his last. His heart pounds with each passing second as he drifts deeper into unknown, hostile territories. The isolation is overwhelming. He is far from any human colony, with only the cold stars and the empty black void surrounding him. His fuel is running low, and every minute feels like a countdown to either failure or success. Pirates, mercenaries hired by the Zerothians to target human fugitives, are the first to ambush him. They come without warning, their ship sleek and menacing as they open fire. Jack barely has time to react, but his survival instincts kick in. He's no warrior, but he's learned enough from his years as a technician to fight for his life. The pirates, expecting an easy target, are shocked when Jack fights back with everything he has. He uses the pod's limited weapons and makeshift traps to outsmart them, narrowly escaping each time. Every skirmish takes its toll on his pod, leaving it more damaged and less reliable with each passing battle, but Jack refuses to give up. As he moves further from the station, the dangers only grow. Bounty hunters, skilled trackers used to hunting down fugitives, lurk in the shadows of uncharted space. They know the value of a human hostage, especially one with a personal vendetta like Jack. One such bounty hunter, Rax, is sent after him. Ruthless and known for never missing his target, Rax pursues Jack relentlessly across the galaxy. Jack's pod is damaged, and he's growing weaker from exhaustion. The cold, barren moon Rax chooses as the battleground is the perfect place for an ambush. The landscape is harsh, with jagged rocks and deep craters. Jack's pod crash lands, and he barely manages to escape the wreckage before Rax arrives. For hours, they play a deadly game of cat and mouse through the moon's desolate surface, Jack using his knowledge of the terrain to stay ahead, while Rax's relentless pursuit inches closer. The cold seeps into Jack's bones, and exhaustion weighs heavily on him, but his mind is clear. Lily's face is always in his thoughts, her frightened eyes, her cries for help. It's what keeps him going, driving him to push through the pain and fatigue. Jack knows if he stops now, he'll never see her again. Finally, he manages to outsmart Rax, leading the bounty hunter into a trap by using the terrain to his advantage. Jack lures Rax into a narrow canyon and uses the pod's emergency systems to create a diversion, allowing him to break free. The escape isn't easy, but Jack is resourceful and determined. He leaves Rax behind, knowing that vengeance will have to wait. His mission is more important than anything else. As Jack escapes the moon and gets back into his pod, his resolve strengthens. The encounter with Rax reminded him of the stakes. This is no longer just about getting his daughter back. It's about survival, and his will to fight has never been more powerful. The journey isn't over, though. Jack's path leads him into a dense nebula, a place where the very air is thick with gas and mystery. It's a beautiful but deadly maze of swirling colors, filled with creatures that Jack can't even begin to understand. Huge, glowing tentacles reach out from the mist, their owners lurking in the nebula's depths. Without warning, one of these creatures attacks. Jack's pod is struck by a massive, slimy tentacle, damaging the ship and sending it into a dangerous spin. Struggling to regain control, Jack pilots the ship into the orbit of a nearby planet, hoping to make repairs. The planet is a hostile wasteland, and Jack can feel the weight of the danger around him. Alien predators stalk the surface, their glowing eyes watching him as he makes his way across the cracked, barren ground. He battles the planet's toxic atmosphere, using every scrap of knowledge he has to survive. His survival skills are tested to the limit as he fights off predators and finds shelter. But no matter how difficult things get, he keeps going. For Lily. During his time on the planet, Jack uncovers something that could change everything. While scavenging for supplies, he stumbles upon an old human military database hidden in a secret compartment within the pod. The data is faded, old, yet something stands out, a hidden map. The map leads to a lost world, a remote planet that was the site of a forgotten battle between humans and the ancient Tharvans, a deadly alien race. The map is marked with coordinates that lead to a place called the Cavern of Ages, a place where a powerful weapon, or perhaps something even more valuable, was hidden after the war. The human warriors fought there to save humanity, and now, the weapon they left behind might be the key to saving his daughter and defeating the Zerothians. The discovery of the map is both a blessing and a curse. It gives Jack a glimmer of hope, an opportunity to find something that could turn the tide in his favor. But it also makes him a target. The moment the coordinates are unlocked, the Zerothian fleet is aware of his movements, and they will stop at nothing to catch him before he reaches the lost world. But Jack is undeterred. As he prepares for his final jump to the lost planet, he looks out of the pod's small window. The planet is nothing like Earth. It's as though the world itself is a tomb, holding the remnants of a lost past. Jack steps out of the pod, his boots crunching on the dry ground, and he's met with the remains of ancient human cities. Once proud colonies, now reduced to ruins and crumbling structures. Giant buildings are half sunk into the earth, and rusted metal skeletons of long-dead skyscrapers pierce the sky like ghosts. Nature has reclaimed what humanity once built, with wild jungles and thick vines creeping over everything. Jack feels a weight on his chest as he takes it all in. This is the place where humanity's final battle was fought, a battle lost to the ravages of time. Jack swallows hard, his mind racing. His goal is clear: find the legendary armor and the weapon hidden on this forsaken planet. It's the only hope of saving his daughter, Lily, and defeating the Zerothians once and for all. As he moves cautiously through the jungle, his senses on high alert, Jack notices something that makes his heart skip a beat: footprints. They're large, human-sized. He bends down to study them, his breath catching in his throat. Could there be other survivors here? Someone else who knows the secrets of this world? The idea brings both hope and dread. But there's no time for distractions. His mission is too important, and his daughter's life is at stake. For days, Jack pushes deeper into the jungle, hacking through thick undergrowth and navigating treacherous terrain. He encounters dangerous wildlife, but he knows he can't waste time fighting every threat. His eyes are always scanning, searching for any sign of the armor. The path is exhausting, but he doesn't slow down. His determination keeps him going. After several days, Jack discovers something: a cave system hidden beneath the ruins of an ancient city. It's almost as if the cave had been waiting for him to find it. The entrance is barely noticeable, overgrown with vines and hidden among the wreckage of broken buildings. With his flashlight in hand, Jack steps into the cool darkness, the air inside thick with the scent of old stone. The cave seems to stretch on forever, and soon he finds himself in a massive chamber. It's like stepping back in time. The walls are lined with strange markings, possibly left by the soldiers who once fought here. The atmosphere is still and heavy with history. At the center of the chamber, Jack's flashlight flickers on a pedestal, and his heart races. There, resting in the dust, is the armor. Unlike anything he's seen before, it's sleek, futuristic, and yet worn with age. The surface is scratched and battered, but there's something about it that feels alive, like it's waiting for someone worthy to wear it. The faint glow of blue lines pulses across the surface, almost as though it's responding to Jack's presence. This is no ordinary piece of equipment. It's a relic of a long-lost war. Jack approaches cautiously, awe mixing with disbelief. He brushes his hand against the cold metal. The moment he touches it, a soft hum fills the air, and the glowing lines pulse brighter. The armor reacts, almost as if it's alive. Jack steps back, startled but intrigued. The armor seems to recognize his touch. With trembling hands, Jack begins to activate the suit's systems. He's no expert, but the controls are surprisingly intuitive. His fingers move over the chest plate, and the helmet clicks into place, fitting snugly on his head. Suddenly, Jack's vision shifts. His surroundings come into sharp focus as the suit's enhanced vision kicks in, scanning the environment and marking key points of interest. A calm voice, the AI of the suit, begins to speak, offering guidance and explaining the armor's features. The more Jack explores, the more amazed he becomes. This is far beyond anything he could have imagined. The suit's energy shield pulses with power, capable of absorbing even the most devastating blows. The energy weapons built into the suit are strong enough to level buildings, and the mobility systems make him faster and stronger than he ever thought possible. It's everything Jack needs, and more. But the most shocking discovery comes when Jack uncovers an old recording, a message left by the last soldiers who wore the armor. The footage is grainy, filled with static, but the words are clear. The soldiers speak of a time when humanity was on the brink of annihilation. The armor was the last line of defense against the Zerothians, but it wasn't enough. The warriors who wore it fought bravely, but they were overwhelmed by an enemy too powerful. Their deaths allowed humanity to survive, just long enough to scatter across the galaxy and rebuild. A voice crackles through the recording, full of regret and hope: "May whoever wears this armor, finish what we started." Jack's heart tightens. He wasn't meant to wear this armor. It was designed for warriors far greater than him. But now, it's his responsibility to carry on their mission, to finish what they started. This armor is humanity's last hope. The future of his daughter, and the fate of the galaxy, rests in his hands. With newfound strength, Jack stands tall in the armor. The journey ahead will be even more dangerous, but he's ready. He knows that with the armor, he has a fighting chance. And he won't stop until Lily is safe. The fate of humanity depends on him. He won't fail again. The moment Jack Mitchell steps into the ancient suit of armor, everything changes. As the helmet seals over his face, a rush of energy surges through his body, like a current of electricity. He feels a wave of strength flood him, his heart pounds with the power now coursing through his veins. The armor hums, almost like it's alive, responding to his every movement. Jack isn't just a man anymore, he's something more. Something beyond human. The suit instantly amplifies his abilities. His muscles, once bound by the limits of the human body, now feel indestructible. He flexes his fingers, and it's as if the armor has fused with his own body, making him stronger than any soldier he's ever seen. His reflexes are beyond fast, every move is instinctive. He can think and react in fractions of a second, each motion controlled and precise. It's like he's part of the suit, and the suit is part of him. For the first time in his life, Jack feels unstoppable. His body moves with unmatched speed. A thought is all it takes, and he leaps into the air, soaring higher than he ever could have imagined. With another thought, he sprints forward, his legs moving faster than any human could. His strikes land with a power that shakes the ground beneath him. Jack has become something else, a warrior at the peak of human strength, enhanced beyond imagination. But it's not just his physical strength that's changed. The armor is equipped with advanced weapon systems that activate with a single command. A plasma rifle emerges from a compartment in his arm, its glowing barrel ready to unleash destructive blasts of energy. He tests it by firing at a nearby rock. Explosions light up the jungle as the plasma tears through the stone like paper. The energy blades hidden in his wrist snap into place with a crackling hum, their edges glowing a fierce blue. He swings them through a piece of metal, and it cuts like butter, leaving a glowing trail behind. Jack barely has time to process the power he now wields when a jetpack on his back activates, propelling him into the sky. He hovers high above the jungle, surveying the landscape below. With this new arsenal, Jack feels invincible. But the world is not without its threats. In the distance, Zerothian soldiers are gathering. They've been hunting Jack for days, tracking him across the jungle. And now, they've found him. They think he's just a man, an ordinary human. They don't know that Jack has become something much more dangerous. As the first wave of Zerothian soldiers charges at him, weapons raised, Jack doesn't hesitate. He ignites his energy blades, and the air around him crackles with raw power. He moves with unbelievable speed, cutting through the enemy ranks with ease. The first few Zerothians don't even have time to react before their bodies are torn apart by the glowing blades. Jack's movements are so fluid, so fast, it's like he's a blur, a force of nature. His plasma rifle roars in his hands, each shot fired with deadly precision. The blasts explode on impact, sending Zerothian soldiers flying into the air, their bodies torn apart by the sheer force. Jack doesn't stop. He moves through the battlefield like a storm, calculating every strike, making each one count. His speed, power, and focus make him a terrifying presence on the battlefield. The jetpack kicks in again, lifting Jack into the air as he dodges enemy fire and weaves between enemy lines. He lands with the force of a bomb, creating a shockwave that knocks enemies off their feet. With a single sweep of his energy blades, he takes out a group of soldiers, each alien falling before him. He's unstoppable. As the last of the Zerothian soldiers fall to the ground, Jack stands tall in the midst of the battlefield, his armor glowing with power. But even as the enemy retreats, Jack's mind is focused on one thing, his daughter, Lily. Every blow he lands, every alien he cuts down, brings him one step closer to finding her. He remembers her face, her laughter, and the reason he's fighting. But as the battle rages on, Jack realizes that it's not just for her that he's fighting. Humanity's survival is on the line. He's not just battling for his daughter's freedom, he's fighting to protect the future of everyone. The Zerothians aren't just enemies, they are the ones who have pushed humanity to the brink of extinction. They're the ones who destroyed entire worlds. Jack's anger begins to grow. It's no longer just anger at the Zerothians for what they did to his daughter. It's anger for every human life lost, for every city destroyed, for every world overtaken by the alien invaders. His rage fuels him, each strike harder and more precise than the last. With every fallen enemy, he feels the weight of humanity's struggle. But Jack isn't just angry. He's determined. As the last Zerothian soldier falls, Jack stands tall, panting heavily but unbroken. He has awakened a power within himself that will carry him forward. The battle may be over for now, but Jack knows this is only the beginning. The Zerothians might have retreated, but the war is far from finished. Jack has become a symbol of hope for humanity, a symbol of resistance, of survival. With the power of the armor and his unyielding determination, he will fight to the end. The future of humanity is in his hands, and he will make sure it survives. Jack's mission is far from over. The Zerothians will return, and when they do, Jack will be ready. Jack Mitchell's heart pounds as he steps onto the Eternal Warship, the flagship of the Zerothian fleet. This ship is unlike anything he's ever seen. Its dark, metallic hulls stretch endlessly, cold and oppressive. Red lights flicker weakly from an alien power source, casting eerie shadows that only add to the unsettling atmosphere. This is no longer just about saving his daughter, this is humanity's last chance. This is the final battle for survival. The ship is unervingly silent, and every step Jack takes feels like a ticking clock counting down. His armor hums with a low, powerful energy, its energy shield glowing steadily. He can feel his heart race as he moves deeper into the ship, bypassing security doors and alien technology, all while he stays alert for the Zerothian soldiers that lurk in every corner. But with his energy blades drawn and plasma rifle at his side, Jack cuts through them effortlessly, each move precise and deliberate. The armor's enhancements make every strike feel natural, as if the suit is a part of him. After what seems like an eternity, Jack reaches the central chamber of the ship. His instincts scream that Lily is nearby, and he's determined to get to her. But standing between him and his daughter is the Zerothian commander, Syrax. The alien overlord is massive, towering over Jack with his jagged, black armor and glowing red eyes that pierce through the darkness like a predator. He's a nightmare come to life, his alien features terrifying, but it's his cold, calculated demeanor that makes him all the more dangerous. "You are brave to come this far, human," Syrax's voice echoes through the chamber, deep and menacing. "But you are too late. Your species is already doomed. The Zerothians have already decided your fate. You are a threat to the future of this galaxy. And now, your daughter, she will be the key to either the galaxy's salvation or its destruction." Jack's fists tighten at the mention of his daughter's name. His blood boils with fury and determination. He won't let this monster take Lily. He's already fought through too much to lose her now. Syrax steps closer, his voice dripping with malice. "Your daughter, Lily, is part of an ancient prophecy. She holds the power to either unite the galaxy in peace or tear it apart. She is the one we've been waiting for." Jack's mind races. He's heard of prophecies before, but this is something far worse. Lily, his innocent daughter, is caught in a struggle much bigger than either of them. The fate of the galaxy rests on her shoulders, and the Zerothians know it. "You won't touch her," Jack growls, his voice thick with defiance. He's come too far and sacrificed too much to back down now. Syrax laughs, his deep, unsettling voice filling the room. "You have no idea what you're up against, human. You're just a pest. The armor may give you power, but you are still nothing compared to the might of the Zerothian fleet. We will take her, and the prophecy will unfold." The room shakes as Syrax unsheathes his massive energy sword, and Jack activates his energy blades in response. The battle begins with a flash of energy that rips through the air, a clash of power that rattles the chamber. Jack strikes first, his blades flashing through the air, but Syrax's speed is astonishing. With each swing of his sword, Syrax parries Jack's blows, sending sparks flying in every direction. The battle escalates into a blur of motion. Syrax's strikes are brutal, his weapon heavy with destructive force. Jack, however, moves with unnatural speed, honed by the suit's enhancements. His attacks are precise, but Syrax is relentless, matching every move with a counterattack. The sound of their weapons clashing echoes through the chamber, as the two combatants fight for dominance. Jack's plasma rifle crackles, sending energy blasts that rip through the air. But Syrax dodges with alien agility, his shield blocking most of the blasts. The ground trembles beneath their feet as their weapons collide, shaking the entire warship. The fight isn't just physical, it's a contest of wills, human strength against the Zerothian power, a battle of survival. Jack isn't just driven by anger now. His focus is unshakable. Every blow he lands is for Lily, for humanity's future. He's not just fighting to win, he's fighting for the safety of the one person who means everything to him. With every move, Jack gets closer to victory. Realizing the battle is slipping into a stalemate, Jack makes his move. He reaches for the final weapon in his arsenal, the EMP pulse. The device is his last hope, a final effort to bring down the alien commander and his warship. With a swift motion, Jack activates the pulse. A blinding blue flash erupts in the chamber, and Syrax's shield systems flicker and fail. For the first time, the Zerothian commander falters, his smirk replaced by a snarl of frustration. Without hesitation, Jack charges, his energy blades glowing brighter than ever. With a final roar, he strikes, his blades driving deep into Syrax's defenses. The clash is deafening, and this time, Syrax can't defend himself. With a brutal twist, Jack's blades pierce the alien commander's armor, and Syrax falls to the ground, defeated. Jack stands over him, breathing heavily, his armor scorched but still holding strong. The source of all its strength. As he pulls it out, the familiar hum of the armor fades, and with it, his strength. He feels suddenly vulnerable. Without the core, he's just a man with nothing but his determination and love for his daughter. He places the core onto a nearby console, watching as the systems of the suit power down completely. The once mighty armor is now useless, nothing more than a pile of cold metal. The room grows colder too, but there's a strange sense of peace in it. Jack doesn't need the suit anymore. What he needs now is his daughter, and the chance for her to choose who she wants to be. Lily watches all of this, confusion and fear in her eyes. She doesn't fully understand what's happening, but Jack can see something in her, a shift. There's a new understanding there, a connection to the technology inside her that wasn't there before. She isn't just a tool to be used in someone else's war. She is something far more important. She is the bridge between two species, the key to a future that doesn't have to be written in blood. Jack kneels before her, his heart swelling with pride and fear. "Lily," he says softly, "you are more than I ever imagined. You don't have to be anyone's weapon. You have the power to choose. You are not a tool. You are the future." Lily looks up at him, her voice soft but clear, full of newfound strength. "I can feel it, Dad. The power inside me, it's not just strength. It's knowledge. I can bring both our worlds together." For a long moment, Jack just holds her gaze. His heart is full, knowing that Lily is ready to step into her new role, not as a weapon, but as a leader. She is the one who will decide whether humanity and the Zerothians will be enemies forever or find a way to live together. The air around them shimmers as Lily raises her hand. Energy flows from her, controlled and calm. She begins to speak in a language that resonates with both human and Zerothian technology, her voice a bridge between the two. The Zerothian forces, once set on destroying humanity, now pause. They listen. They understand. The rift between the two species is starting to close. It's not a perfect peace. There are still many wounds to heal, old fears that will take time to overcome. But for the first time, Jack feels something he hasn't felt in a long time: hope. The galaxy might still be broken, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Humanity and the Zerothians can learn to live together, if they are willing to listen to each other. As the warship powers down and the Zerothian fleet begins to pull away, Jack and Lily make their way back home. They are not returning as victors. There are no celebrations or cheers. They are returning as the first steps of a new era, one that will be filled with challenges, but also possibilities. The ancient armor lies behind them, no longer needed. They have found a way forward, a way of peace. As they walk away from the destruction of war, hand in hand, Jack feels something he hasn't felt in years: hope. Together, with Lily by his side, he knows they can face whatever comes next.